Just like that, we are back. It's 11:21 on the East Coast. It's a little Views After Dark with Brian and Jack. We just witnessed a wild, kind of wild, a good NBA Finals Game 3.
It was a great game.
Yeah, it was a great game. I really don't know what to think about it. I guess we'll get right into it. The Pacers up 2-1. It seems like everyone wrote them off, including ourselves, but here we are, and they have control of the series.
They did a phenomenal job with SGA tonight, and that pretty much is the headline for the game tonight. There was obviously Benedict Mathurin coming in and having probably his biggest game of his career, so that was awesome to see for them. But yeah, I thought the way that they handled the scoring of the Thunder was how they won this game. Also, Chet looking like a young, inexperienced, hot-headed kind of player.
He was great in the first quarter, and then he just turned into a noodle. Like, he was a pool noodle for the last 3 quarters. And that's kind of what happened in Game 2. He had a good first quarter, and then he wasn't that great, but they won the game, of course. But yeah, Benedict Mathurin, former Wildcat, now a wild card in this series. And I don't know how many 20-point games he's had in these playoffs, but every time he has one, they go crazy. And that's exactly what happened here. Tyrese Haliburton, great game. I think a rebound shy of a triple-double. He almost had a double-double at halftime. He had 12 and 7 at half. And when he does that, they do good. When he disappears, like he did in Game 2, that's when they lose.
Yeah, Benedict Mathurin was at one point 25 points, 9 of 11 shooting, dude. It's insane. I mean,
Seems like you really love his name. It's like you smiled.
I was. Yeah, no, every time I say his name, it definitely is a joy. I mean, what a name. But no, he had a phenomenal game. Haliburton did his thing. You're right. I think he was just one rebound shy of a triple-double, and you know dang well that he's putting up the assists and the points. So, great game from him. And dude, the whole thing with Chet, high pick, just supposed to be this next, prodigy sort of player, but he's just thin, man. He gets bullied around by guys like Miles Turner. I mean, that's just the simplest, of what happened. He gets bullied around, pushed around, and then guys like Miles Turner just take advantage. Obi Toppin.
Dude, Obi Toppin at the end of that game.
Dude, that was just another dagger. That's like his move is to come in with some putback dunk that's just jaw dropping. Did it against the Knicks. That was a game clincher. There were plenty of daggers in. What did the Pacers end up winning by? Like almost 10 points tonight. So yeah, plenty of shots you could have called the dagger. I think Siakam had one that the announcers ended up calling the dagger, but. Dude, they're playing good team basketball. Up 2-1. I think we said it earlier, or maybe it's later in this show. I'm not exactly sure how this gets edited, but
it'll be later on. This is the first segment.
This is the first segment.
So for those, I guess, since it's the first segment, we never really addressed it. It's a road game for me right now. I'm hopeful I'm doing better than Thunder did in their first road game. But I'm back in the kitchen. If you're watching on YouTube, where I used to record, I'll be back in the studio, and we'll have hockey talk, U.S. Open preview, winners and losers after this. But it's a little bit of a time travel jump.
Well, later in the show, you're going to hear me say I fully believe the Pacers win either Game 3 or Game 4. I just don't know which one it is. But I guess Game 4, I thought the Thunder were going to win tonight. I was wrong. I'm happy I'm wrong. I want the Pacers to win. Yeah, I want the Pacers to win. I dislike Shea that much.
Yeah, I'm annoyed I didn't. And SGA had a weird game. At points, I think it was the third quarter, he couldn't miss, and then the other 3 quarters he didn't play too well. But you had the right thinking, and I'm annoyed I didn't bring it up. I just looked it up to make sure I was right. The Pacers were 0-3 in Game 3s in the playoffs before tonight.
Right.
They finally got over the hump, and now it's like Game 4 and 5, they've been so good. So we've gone from the Thunder in 5 to now I think we legitimately have to talk. Like, the Pacers shot 60% tonight for most of the game. Can they overcome this Thunder defense and go up 3-1 heading back to OKC?
Can they? Yes. I thought you were about to say that the Pacers in 5 was a conversation we needed to
I
start
mean, it
having.
might be. I keep going back to this as a fluke run. They've made these crazy comebacks, and now they run into the Thunder, Western Conference team. Like they're gonna steamroll them. They're up 2-1 now. They've won on the road and at home.
I feel like there's just been so much unbelievable moment. There have been so many unbelievable moments along the way for this Pacers team, this run that they've had, that the NBA would be at a disservice. The fans would be at a disservice if the Pacers don't end up winning it all. So this memorable run can get solidified in NBA history, because it really has been pretty incredible with the comebacks and everything. We always think back to the run that the Raptors had, and we think back to the Kawhi shot over Embiid. Moments like that. I feel like that's what we've been getting from Halliburton and the Pacers. So I hope they win it all. I don't think it's going to happen in 5, but it sounds like you're convinced it will happen.
I mean, I don't know what to think. And I wrote that blog after game 2 of the Pacers-Knicks series where I was like, this is the team of destiny. Even you say the moments throughout the playoffs, like just this game, you had the Obi Toppin poster, you had a Tyrese step back 3, and they panned to Reggie Miller going crazy in the crowd. They give all these moments, like loose balls that Siakam's picking up.
But that's the thing, Brian. That has happened in legitimately every single one of these Pacer wins.
Yeah, the TJ McConnell kicks it out to Nembhard for a jumper and then steals the inbound.
that right there was the point, and you can go back and double check if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty positive that was the point right there that they went up a couple points, maybe 4 or 5 points, and they never looked back. And it was TJ frickin' McConnell.
Yeah, but it was at the end of the third quarter. I think that was to go up. They were down by 2. McConnell hit Nembhard for the jumper, and then he stole it, and that's what put him up. And then they didn't look back.
I think that was fourth quarter.
Early fourth. Yeah, but
because at the end of the third, Jalen Williams hit that.
Oh yeah,
that 3, and this was his first 3 of the game.
He was, and I did not know that well, but he was their best scorer tonight. At least I thought.
Yeah, he was.
Sure, their only scorer. I mean,
SGA was. I'm pretty sure I opened this up saying I think the headline of this game was the defense played on SGA. He didn't get some of the call. He did get some calls, but he didn't get all the calls I would have thought he normally does. So I think that played a big difference in this game.
Yeah, I thought of you when it was getting doubled. I think it was early third quarter, and he just kind of spun out of it and threw up some nonsense and got the foul call.
That happened. That happened quite a lot in this game, especially towards the end. Just SGA, Tyrese Halliburton, Nembhard, all 3 of them were definitely guilty of this. Just driving into whatever, and then just jumping up or trying to do some spin and toss a pass. And don't get me wrong, I've done it. It's a play that LeBron does. People have been doing it forever, but it just looked so reckless at some points with some of these guys.
Yeah, and I feel like SGA's practiced the art of getting fouled and making that kind of shot so much now that it's just part of his game. I'm trying to find exactly where this McConnell steal happened.
Early fourth quarter.
Okay, it was 8:33 left in the fourth quarter, tied the game at 95. And then from there, they went on a 21-12 run to finish
to close out the game. Yeah, yeah. I don't think they ever lost the lead after that.
No. Yeah, they went ahead.
TJ frickin' McConnell, dude.
Yeah, he had a great game. Him and Benedict Mathurin were the difference. I mean, they were up 30-11 in bench points after the first half. I don't know how it ended, but like McConnell, 15 minutes off the bench, has 10 and 5 and 5 steals, and Mathurin 27 and 4 rebounds. Like that's the difference right there.
Definitely was. And also, just I will continue to shout out Nembhard because he has just been so incredibly impressive. Turn the ball over a little bit, so what? Just some of the big shots that he can create and hit late in the game is so impressive. And that's speaking of turnovers, that's one stat that I probably should have brought up earlier when I was saying the defense on SGA was the difference. I'm pretty sure they had, when I say they, Oklahoma City had like 20 turnovers in this game.
Yeah, I'll double check that. I know.
Double check for me since you're on your little screen right there.
At least with Nemhard's, he got put in I can't call it the torture chamber. I'm trying to think of a pun for SGA, but it is late. But whatever you'd call his foul baiting nonsense. Like he had 3 early fouls, and then he couldn't really do anything in the first half because he was just chasing around SGA. And he still finished with a good stat line, still was effective. 19 turnovers for the Thunder to 14 for the Pacers.
Yeah. 19 turnovers is a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, 14 is not great either. But
Yeah, but
19.
Not, yeah. When you're the Thunder and you're used to turning everyone over and getting steals, it's not gonna. When you're -5, that's not where you want to be.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly stunned. I really thought we'd be sitting here, at least with the Thunder up 2-1, if not 3-0 after 3 games, and now it's Pacers 2-1.
Yeah, well, look, I'm not stunned because don't get me wrong, it should be 2-1 Thunder. They absolutely choked away that first game. The Pacers made an amazing comeback. Thunder choked it. They should have won it. It should be 2-1 Thunder, but they lost. They choked that game at home, and we'll see if they can recover from that. Like we were talking about, they're going to need to win. As we were talking about later in this show, if you want to understand what I'm talking about here, just skip to the end after this. But we were talking about they're going to win either game 3 or game 4. Again, I'm wrong. I thought it was going to be game 3, but I have full faith that the Thunder come back and win game 4 in Indiana. Yeah, and then we're going to be going back to OKC for game 5. Everything's even. We're back to home court advantage if you can keep it. And I don't think the Thunder are going to choke another one away. I think we're actually going to see Thunder in 7 or 8. In 7. I was about to say 7 or 8. I meant 6 or 7, but I'm just going to call it 7. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11:34. Let me go to sleep.
Thought you were going to go to the 6-7 nonsense the kids are doing now. But I think you haven't seen the memes of the 6-7? Maybe I'm too chronically online. I don't know. This does put more
I like to understand references, but I think I'm out on this one, Brian.
I don't even understand it. I've just seen it. I think Paige Buchers did it in a press conference, and I was confused, so I looked up what it was. And brain rot, shouldn't have done that. But this does put pressure on the Thunder. I mean, if they win game 3, you think more like, oh, the Pacers will win one at home and they'll split. But now the Thunder is kind of a must-win to get it back to even. And I think they do. I think they do win it. It might be another case where we're sitting here on a podcast before the game and we're like, oh, yeah, the Thunder won game 4. We don't really have to worry about it.
Indiana, we've been talking about OKC's home court a lot, but Indiana also has a great home court. Their crowd was lively tonight. So, no, it's no guarantee that the Thunder walk in there and win. It was a guarantee after they dropped game 1 in a horrid fashion that at home in game 2, down 0-1, it was a guarantee that they were going to come out and steamroll that game. But at this point, no, man, all holds are off. It's anybody's game, any single one of these games.
Yeah, I'm excited. And hopefully we get some ratings so we can not have every morning show talk about how these ratings are bad and we can get some good basketball coverage. Because this has been some good basketball. These games have been fun.
I was going to say, screw the ratings. We'll talk about it. People can just listen to us. They've been good games. What did we see tonight? For 3 quarters, it was a tie ball game. I'm pretty sure it was a 5-point game at the end of the third. And then, as we were just talking, that TJ McConnell, back-to-back play that he made the assist, steal, and bucket, that happened with 8-9 minutes left in the game. So, up until that point, it's a tie ball game. That's 40-something minutes of good, tight basketball. Got superstars making plays, Siakam, Hallie, SGA, Jalen Williams. I mean, it's awesome. Benedict Mathurin,
Yeah, no, it was a great game, and
Got to sneak him in there.
yeah, no, last thing I do want to get one more Benedict Mathurin shout out because I think he might be an official friend of the program now after tonight. If my computer will load, it's struggling to this late at night. All right, here we go. Benedict Mathurin tonight didn't play in the first quarter. He outscored the entire Thunder bench 27-18. He tied the Pacers' postseason record with 27 points off the bench, and he tied for the third most points off the bench in the finals, most since Jason Terry in 2011. Who was the coach of that 2011 Mavericks team? Rick Carlisle.
Wow. That's a stat for you.
Those stats are from Law Murray VNU on Twitter. I'm trying to credit my sources now with these stats.
As you should. That's good stuff. Well, everybody listening right now, you're going to hear me say it later. I'm going to say it now. You'll hear me say it later. Thunder take game 4. Tie it up 2-2. That's all I got to say on basketball.
All right, well, we'll see if the Oilers tie it up 2-2. A seamless transition there, I'm sure. We'll kick it to ourselves with a little more brain power a little earlier in the day, talking some hockey. Just kidding. We'll get into some hockey after a quick word from myself talking about SeatGeek.
We finally made it through winter. Spring is here, summer is coming, and the best place to get tickets to all the baseball games, all your summer concerts, or anything else is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the official sponsor of Views from Section 400. First-time purchasers can use our code ViewsFrom400 at checkout for $20 off any tickets, whether you're going to a baseball game, watching the Mets, watching the Phillies, you want to see a country concert on a lawn, and wherever venue you want to go to. SeatGeek is the place to go. Super easy to get any ticket. They have a one-of-a-kind system, shows you the best deal for your buck, and the best part, you get $20 off your first purchase with code ViewsFrom400 at checkout. We love SeatGeek. Thank you to them again. And here's the rest of the show. Well, Jack, I am terrified. The Florida Panthers look really good.
2-1 series lead, baby. What do you expect? Defending champs.
I made this comparison in my notes, and I'm kind of regretting it now because it's disrespectful to the Oilers. But the way the Panthers look and just how fast they are to the puck and just how dominant they look, it looks like Brazil's playing like Ghana or maybe even Team USA in soccer. Like the skill gap just looks that wide. And I know it's not, but I feel like the way they play, my eyes deceive me, where it's like the Panthers just look that much faster, that much better, that much tougher.
I mean, look, I expected the tougher aspect. There's no doubt about that. I think the Panthers are the toughest team in hockey, and that's one of the main reasons why they're here and about to be back-to-back champs. I should
don't do that to yourself.
Hold myself accountable. Slow my roll a little bit, but dude, they're tough. They're one of the toughest teams in hockey. Have been. I think the big thing that I didn't expect is speed. You know, when you think speed, you think Connor McDavid and that skating and how he can fly around and do whatever with the puck, but what I'm seeing from the Panthers, man, is just good team sport, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know everything about hockey, but I do know what it looks like when a sporting team is working together and, they're all in sync, working off of each other. That's what this Florida Panthers team is. That's what they're doing right now. That's what they've been doing for the past 700 days or so. So I'm very impressed. And, dude, Game 3 was just super sweet. I know we were talking about 2 overtime games leading up to it, close games. They went 1-1, both ways getting split. I think Game 3 was just absolute domination by the Panthers.
It looks like they have an infinite power play. They just seem like they have the extra guy the whole time. And even when they're on their third line, they got Marchand, who you tweeted said it was the best acquisition of all time at a deadline. It's hard to say it's not with the way he's playing.
Yeah, he very well might be like one of the most impactful hockey players. After this season, if Florida Panthers can get it done, he might be one of the most impactful hockey players like of the 2000s so far with, his success leading up to this point. And now he's doing it with a new team. It's almost like Brady. Interesting way to think about it.
Might want to pump the brakes on that one too. How many rings does
I know. It's just, the doing it so long, so great for so long with one team, going to another team and being able to do it again. Maybe Peyton. Let's go with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I like that better.
But no, dude, I just a couple of notes on game 3. Speaking of Marchand, he started this, after getting the overtime game-winning goal in game 2, he starts it right back up in game 3 with a quick goal. I'm pretty sure I saw some stat where it's like the first time ever the one who scores like an overtime game-winning goal, like for him to also score the first goal of the next game in the first minute. I think it was some crazy stat that.
Okay, in the first minute. Yeah, they were early and often.
Yeah, Marchand was awesome early and often, like you said. The second goal of the game, Verhaeghe had he fit that puck into the upper 90, the close upper 90. I've watched the replay a couple times. I don't physically understand how it got into that small little spot. It's just, it's incredible. And then the Oilers responded, but, after that, it was just straight business by the Panthers. I'm trying to remember. I think Reinhart had the third goal, and it was just strictly business. And then the fourth goal, oh my gosh, dude, Sam Bennett, that play that Sam Bennett made, I'm sure you saw a highlight of it. He absolutely decked 2 guys for the Oilers. I call it a double-decker. He double-deckered them on defense and then gets out into the transition, fast break, coast to coast for all you basketball fans out there, and dishes in the goal. So Coleman on defense, going all the way down across, getting the goal. That goal made it 4-1, and that was late second period. That was the dagger. The Oilers just looked so disoriented and defeated after that. And you're talking about how the Panthers just look that much better. They don't quit. They have the fight. They get hit in the mouth. They go, okay, that was cute. Let's get back in it and be better. It's very impressive. This Florida Panthers team is incredibly dominant.
And then on top of all that, you mentioned the Oilers struck back or tried to. The Panthers have Bob sitting in the goal, and he's having 30 saves a game. It's just like the weaknesses are it's almost like they're a Death Star right now, and you need to find that little, maybe it's Bob's 5-hole, and McDavid could get lucky a few times, but you need to find something. And the first 2 games went to overtime, so obviously they can compete with them, but I don't know if those games in Florida, it's just, I'm worried. I'm worried for the Oilers.
Yeah, that's a good home field advantage that, or home arena, home ice. What do they call it? Home ice?
Home ice. Home rink?
Home rink.
Home ice. Home ice.
Yeah, right. So the rink advantage, but man, I'm happy for the Panthers. I've been supporting them for a while now, so let's go out there and get 2 more. Finished up 4-1. We don't need the whole 7-game series like we had last year, right?
Well, it'd be fun.
It would be fun.
Not as fun. We won't get a 3-0 comeback, unfortunately. Last thing I had here for you, since you brought up a stat, I have to bring up one of my own, which you're going to like as well.
Okay.
The Panthers are one of 3 teams to ever have 4+ goal victories in every round of their Stanley Cup playoff run. The other 2 were Wayne Gretzky Oiler teams during the dynasty.
Wow. And now they're doing it to the Oilers in the Stanley Cup. I mean,
in the midst of maybe their own little dynasty.
Yeah. I mean, don't call it a comeback, but yeah, it's pretty impressive what they're putting together right now. Yeah, but let's also it wasn't too long ago the Lightning did this too, right? Didn't the Tampa Bay Lightning go back to back?
I think they went
7-8 years ago.
Did they win back to back, or did they go back to back and lose one and then win?
No, I think they won back to back. Let's double check it.
What is with these Florida hockey teams?
That's what I'm saying. Florida hockey has dominated the last decade.
You think Canadians are extra pissed off that it's Florida that's not letting this come home if they end up beating them again?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, of all states in the great United States, it's Florida. That's the one that's going to reign supreme over hockey. But no, I just looked it up. So the Tampa Bay Lightning, they had their stretch 2020 and 2021.
Wow.
So they went back to back, and then it was the Colorado Avalanche, the Vegas Golden Knights, who beat the Panthers in the Cup that year. And now it looks like we're about to get back-to-back Panthers wins. So if
I
that
just looked
comes
this up too. This is the stat of all stats that I missed. In the second half of that back-to-back, they beat the Montreal Canadiens. They didn't let it come home. Of course, it was always the Panthers. They're not going to let it come home. It's the Florida team.
Are you talking about the Lightning?
Yeah, the Florida team going
okay.
for the back-to-back championships and beating a Canadian team.
Staying in the States, baby.
That is crazy. Well, when is game 4 of this series?
Tomorrow night.
So tonight, as the people are listening / watching this. Oh, our next show will be after game 5. Game 5 Saturday. So when we sit here on Sunday, do the Panthers wrap up the cup? Are we going to see Happy Jack with his Panthers pin celebrating a Stanley Cup championship?
I can promise you one thing, Brian. They'll have 3 wins. Can't promise you 4, but I can promise you 3.
I think I agree with that. I think they win game 4, and then Edmonton keeps it alive on Saturday. And we get one more day of content from this Stanley Cup final.
That is what my head is telling me. So, yeah, you pulled it out. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
All right, well, McDavid, Draisaitl, please don't let this man go back-to-back. But let's get to some winners and losers.
Bennett, Chuck, Verhage, Marchand. It's deep, man. Reinhardt. I haven't even said all of them. Bobby. I mean, dude, there's just so many guys. They're so deep. Pause.
Yeah.
Winners and losers.
I was going to say it. I'm glad you did. Let's do winners and losers.
So my winner of the week is going to be punters. Yes, NFL punters. Logan Cook, my Jacksonville Jaguar punter, just signed a new deal, 4-year, $16 million deal. So $4 million a year to punt the football. Never thought punters would make this kind of money. I mean, I guess, simple economics would have told you that it was bound to happen eventually. But I still remember when they were like one of the only positions that weren't getting, like even the best in the league, they still weren't getting paid $1 million. And now it's 4 a year. So shout out Logan Cook. He was the highest paid punter in the league for less than 24 hours. The Seahawks had to go and extend and, pay their punter as well. Michael
Dixon. Yeah.
Dixon. For some reason I wanted to call him Dickerson. But yeah, Michael Dixon, they extended him and they're paying him $4.2 million a year. So Logan Cook.
Are we seeing an arms race in punter contracts?
Yeah, we literally are. Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
Michael Dixon saw that Logan Cook got $4 million. He was like, my 3.75 is not enough. I need 4.25.
Dude, I think Tress Way is due for a contract extension soon, and he's been like the best for a while.
That's
kind of got
Commanders,
but he kind of got sidelined last year because they actually had a good offense. But maybe is he the first punter to make $5 million? I'm trying to think of another.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, Logan Cook, he was Pro Bowl punter last year. Like there wasn't anybody better than him in the AFC. Now you got this Michael Dixon guy in Seattle. You got Tress Way in Washington. So, maybe those guys are just as good as Cook, but Cook's the best in the AFC. I'm happy. I'm also, the winner of the week is not Jags fans or anything. It's punters, man.
Yeah.
The punters, they're making $4 million a year now. That's what's up.
It'll make you even happier if you don't see him touch the field at all this year. I'm sure you would love it if he was not another Pro Bowler. Or you said all pro or just Pro Bowl?
He was definitely a Pro Bowler. I don't know if he was an all pro. Do they give all pro awards to punters?
I think so. They have to. Specialists, they probably do a kicker, a punter, and then a returner, I would think.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, the Jags, we sent our long snapper, our holder, and our punter to the Pro Bowl last year.
It's a hell of a specialist unit.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so the all-pro punter was Jack Fox on Detroit. How did that happen? They never punted.
They never punted.
Huh. Yeah,
but he must have just looked good with the Ford Field lights and cameras and all that good stuff.
Yeah, they don't they don't nominate a holder. There's a special teamer and a long snapper. The special teamer must be the holder because they have kick returner, punt returner.
I was gonna say we sent 3 guys specialists to the Pro Bowl last year. I know Logan Cook and Ross Matzik were two of them. The
Yeah,
third's
so they were
escaping.
both all-pro second teamers.
Okay.
Got on the second team now.
All pro honors, baby. That's all pro honors.
Shout out Logan Cook and shout out punters. I would love to see a punter arms race. I'm sure the running backs would be very annoyed after they've been clamoring to get big deals. And we see punters go up.
Yeah, there are running backs that aren't getting paid $4 million a year. It's actually insane. Oh, did I just say punters? I meant running backs.
Running backs aren't getting paid for. Yeah, you said running backs.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I'm just tripping myself up. All right, Brian, give me your one of the week.
It's going to be flamethrowers, specifically Jacob Mizorowski. He is a Brewers prospect set to make his debut today. 6'7", a 3 career ERA in the minor leagues. But the best part about him, he hit 103 miles per hour in the minors this year in a game. A starting pitcher hit 103 on the radar gun. I mean, that's got to be the coolest feeling in the world. To throw 103 miles per hour.
When you first said Jacob, I thought you were going to say DeGrom, and I was
he can throw pretty hard too.
I don't know, but I was like, Brian, why are we doing this right now? No, that's awesome. I mean, you talk about it all the time, but the pitching labs that these MLB teams are coming up with, just being able to add a couple extra miles an hour of velo on a fastball makes all the difference. So 103, you're a starting pitcher throwing 103. I don't know what you're doing in the minor leagues.
Yeah, and it's not like he's bad either. He has a 3 ERA. He struck out 320 people in 230 innings in the minors. So the Brewers are just one of those teams that have way too much talent. They also have this kid, Logan Henderson, that made a couple starts and got sent back down because there's no room for him. But I'm excited to watch this kid pitch.
Are we acting like the Brewers or like the Dodgers or the Yankees? What do you mean there's no room for him?
There's no room for him on the pitching staff.
I can't name you a single person on the Brewers outside of Christian Yelich.
They have, well, I think that's a you problem. But in terms of their pitching, Logan Henderson should be up, just like this Mizorowski kid is coming up. The Brewers have a very fun young player in Jackson Chourio. He's going to be their center fielder for the next decade. But, yeah. The one thing this makes me want to do is this 4 and 400 this summer of athletic traits we wish we could have. Because I think throwing 103 would be up there for me.
Yeah. I'd like to throw hard. I'd also like to run through people the way that Micah Parsons can or Aaron Donald did. That'd be pretty cool.
That's not as throwing hard. You can show off anywhere. You could go to a carnival and play one of those games with the cups and just drill the cups and get a prize. You can't exactly go around tackling people in the office during your 9 to 5.
Unless you work at Sports Center.
Yeah, bring those commercials back.
For real.
Need them back.
Yeah, that's my loser of the week. The fact that we don't have those anymore. No, but my real loser of the week, it's going to be college basketball. And this is a tough one for me, at least. They already accepted or approved a rule change where coaches are now going to have a coach's challenge. I have mixed feelings about that. It'll probably help Auburn once or twice over the next few seasons. So, that'll be good. Would have been nice for Kyle Guy. But the thing is, it's just going to lead to more commercials and interruptions, and I'm not really here for that. The other reason why college basketball is a loser is they're talking about doing away with the 2 20-minute halves and going to 4 quarters. I don't know if they said they were going to do 10-minute or 12-minute, what that was going to look like.
It would be 10, just like the women's game.
But again, don't like it. I think this is, there's obviously 4 quarters, more time for pauses, breaks, commercials, all that jazz. But really at the core of it, it just changes the game, man. That's one of the things I loved about the difference between college basketball and the NBA. Was just the fact that these guys, they do 2 20-minute halves, pretty much running clock. That to me is just a great formula. The NBA feels so broken up. It doesn't feel cohesive the way that a college basketball game does. So I'm against this. That's my loser of the week.
Yeah, I'm with you and I'm not with you. So I'm with you on I like the halves. The media timeouts do get annoying, but the traditionalist in me wants them to keep it 20-minute halves. It's how I grew up watching college basketball, and that's one of the nice parts about college basketball. Challenges, the refs in college basketball are terrible.
Yeah.
Why don't you want challenges?
Refs in all basketball leagues are terrible.
The NBA ones are much better than college ones.
Yeah, until they throw their
They had
bias in
to
there.
essentially get rid of the charge rule because the refs never got it right in college. Now they just always call it a block, and they're like, stop taking charges. I'm for a challenge. At least there's enough media timeouts already, and I guess maybe if you go to quarters, that's kind of the idea, is you'll get challenges, so that'll just replace the media timeouts you already have. So I don't know if they're even going in the right direction. College basketball is in a weird spot. Also, you can now pay players to play. There's no ruling on NIL anymore, so I don't know. But maybe Auburn will win it next year.
Whole lot of I don't know, but
Well, I don't know. That's kind of what the sport's at right now.
Well, War Eagle.
War Eagle, yeah, pretty much.
Hey, that's at the end of the day, college basketball, change whatever you want. War Eagle always.
Yep. And I'll be saying it some more when we get into the US Open, don't you worry. It's a little preview for you.
There you go. What's your loser of the week?
My loser of the week, I actually forget. Oh, it's Hawaii.
The great state of Hawaii.
The great state of Hawaii. It's not their fault, but so the Mets are playing the Nationals this week.
Sure.
And of course, I live in the great District of Columbia, where it's always traffic and there's always pollen everywhere because of the cherry blossoms. I can't watch the Mets Nationals game unless I go onto one of the many illegal streaming sites, which I won't name here so they don't get shut down, because of blackout restrictions.
Why can't you watch a Mets Nationals game when you're in DC where the Nationals play?
Well, Jack, I don't have cable. I have YouTube TV. And YouTube TV does not have MASN, which is the cable channel that broadcasts the Nationals. And when I have MLB TV and try to watch the Mets like I do with every other team, I'm blacked out because they say, oh, you should have MASN and you should be able to watch the Nationals. It's terrible.
Why is this Hawaii's fault, Brian?
Well, it's not Hawaii's fault, but the loser of the week is Hawaii, because while I've been dealing with all these blackout restrictions, I did some research. And the state of Hawaii is blacked out from watching the Dodgers, the Angels, the Giants, the Athletics, and the Padres. They're 2,500 miles away from California, and they are blacked out from watching 5 teams that play in the state of California.
Unless they have some sort of service that lets them watch all 5?
Yep, which would be multiple cable packages. One for the San Diego region, one for the San Francisco region, and one for the Los Angeles region.
Brian, we live in a great country. I will always love the United States of America, but that is some dumb shit.
I also got extra pissed off when I saw your tweet about the Pope and said he looked like Joe Torre. Because if Joe Torre would have just accepted the commissioner job, this would all be fixed by now.
I really did think the Pope looked like Joe Torre with that ball cap on.
It kind of did. I had to do a double take. I'm like, he's on to something.
Oh, man. Shout out Joe Torre. Except not actually, because he's a Yankee. But, yeah, man. I don't know what to tell you. That sucks for Hawaii. That's just BS. I could imagine me, as a Hawaiian resident, I would assume I like one of those California teams, depending on how far up the coast I go, the Giants all the way down to the Dodgers, the Padres. And the fact that I can't get all of them just on a simple baseball package is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's terrible, and it's never going to get fixed because Rob Manfred has the brain size of a toddler.
It will get fixed. I have faith. I have faith
someone
in the
needs
people.
to assassinate Rob Manfred, or he needs to get some disease that makes him die.
War Eagle, Rob Manfred.
Yeah, stay away from Auburn, Rob. And I'm sorry I don't wish death on you, but you're ruining the sport I love.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. Shout out Hawaii. We're praying for you.
The volcanoes and everything suck, but the blackout restrictions are even worse.
Amen. All right.
Talk some continental U.S. with the U.S. Open. How about that seamless transition?
Yeah, phenomenal transition, Brian. Yeah, I don't have much to say on this, so you can take it away. I'll just come in with my pick.
Okay, well, I foreshadowed it in, I guess, when we were talking about hockey. War Eagle, because Jackson Koivu is in this field with an amateur tag. He just got his PGA Tour card when Auburn unfortunately lost at Omni Costa in the championships. But Jackson Koivu will be in this field competing to try to win the U.S. Open.
War Eagle. Good luck, Jackson.
Yeah, he's actually the first Auburn Tiger to play in the U.S. Open since 2017. Jason Duffner, who I did not know was an Auburn Tiger. I know the name, but didn't know who he was. And I do have good news, too. Just because he's an amateur does not mean he can't win this. In the 124-year history of the U.S. Open, amateurs have won 5 times. And we don't need to talk about how the last one was in 1933.
No, we don't.
It was a guy named Johnny, though. Johnny Jackson. Sound kind of alike.
Johnny Jackson, Jackson Corbin. Hey now. Hey. We're on to something. Look, if it's not Jackson, he'll be my pick too. I mean, War Eagle. He'll be my new favorite golfer. But my other favorite golfer is who my pick is for this weekend, and that's Bryson DeChambeau, Bryson DeChampion. I've got him at plus 700. It's currently number 2 behind Scotty. Everybody loves Scotty, but give me Bryson. I said it on the last time we talked golf after what was that? The Masters? Is that the last tournament we went over?
The PGA we talked about.
Oh, the PGA. That's right. Yeah, after the PGA, I think didn't Bryson come in second at the PGA? I think he did.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need him to get past, turn that corner, win it all. Number 1, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I know how much you're a Bryson guy, and everyone should follow Views from Jack on Twitter during this tournament because he will be talking about Bryson nonstop all weekend, I'm sure of it, unless he misses the cut, which there's always a chance because the course this weekend is going to be tough. We may see our first ever above par champion since 2018 with the way Oakmont is shaping up.
I was actually, thanks for bringing that up. I was thinking about that. I saw on FanDuel for like the top 3 for all of them to be under par was like only minus 140 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like they really do think that like the top 3, they're probably gonna be right around even or plus.
Yeah, I mean we're getting all the golfers' complaints in, and that's normally how this goes with the U.S. Open because they want to make it the hardest major of the year. In 2018 it was Brooks Koepka with a +1. That's the last time it happened. But I mean, the way this course is shaping up, there's a par 3 that's 289 yards. The average par 3 on the PGA Tour is 195. They added 100 yards to this thing. And I read with hole locations changing, it might be a 300-yard par 3 at some point. It's going to be a hard course.
It's not easy, but at the same time, these are the best of the best. I've gone out there and swung some clubs now. I can say that confidently at this point. It's not an easy sport, but these guys, they can get it done. They can make the ball go left. They can make it go right. They can have it sit down on a dime. I've never played this course. I don't know what it looks like, but I can tell you right now, Scotty's going to be fine. DeChambeau's going to be fine. I'm thinking those 2. I know they're the favorites, but I have them right in there. Who do you think is going to be number 3? If you had to pick one other person to round out a top 3, who's it going to be? Is it Rory? Is it Xander?
Rory or Rahm, just because of their ball striking, and they both can get it far off the tee, and it'll save them on those putting where everybody's 3 putting on the green. If they get it first there. I saw something too. Rory is kind of relaxing now that he has the career Grand Slam, and I can't really blame him. So maybe I'll stay away from him. And by the way, if you want to see our whole staff's picks, go check out our social medias at Views from 400. It'll be on Instagram and Twitter. You'll see Colin and Nick and Matt, who's not here today, everyone's picked to win this tournament. But yeah, I think it would be Rahm or Rory if he decides to try.
I'm not betting on Rory anymore. I would have to think he's checked out. I mean, he's had such a long and up and down career, and we all know how big that Masters win was for him. It was the last box he needed to check on a great career. So I would imagine he's still enjoying it, coming down off the high and not really locked in on trying to win another one. Obviously, he wants to win another one, but not the same sort of intensity that it was for the Masters. It's somebody else's turn.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's somebody else. As much as I want it to be Jackson Quivin, I don't think he's going to be my pick. I will be placing some money on him to make the cut. So I'm sure that'll be plus money. My official pick to win this tournament, which I'm so historically great at my golf bets, so please tell me, it's going to be Captain America, Keegan Bradley. Why not pick the Ryder Cup Team USA captain at the U.S. Open? It's patriotic. It's only right. He's kind of stayed away from the snip-snap scorecards this year. He's been level-headed. He made a good run on the last day of the PGA Championship. If he just stays around par on this course, there's a shot. So I'm going with Keegan Bradley, Captain America at the U.S. Open.
Fair enough. USA.
Yeah, and that's also not because I saw him tee off when I went to the Masters practice round for 30 minutes.
I was talking with somebody the other day. They said that the practice rounds are way better than going to the actual events.
Yeah, less crowded and less people trying to watch every shot.
Right.
I don't know how it works, Augusta, but I would like my email that I can purchase tickets for next year after you promise them to me. They made me enter the lottery again, and allegedly I'm guaranteed to get the Monday tickets, but I'm kind of skeptical.
Best of luck to you.
Appreciate that. You want to say best of luck to either the Pacers or the Thunder? And kind of a brain puzzle here, because we've already reacted to it as the people are listening, but we have not watched the game yet. So who wins?
The Thunder win game 3.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Thunder are going to win. So it's going to be very interesting if at the top of this show we're talking about the Pacers win, but I'll save that for a couple hours from now.
I really do.
Else?
No, just the last comment on that. I really do think they split these two games. I don't know who wins game 3 and game 4, but I think it gets split. And I'm going to go with the Thunder take game 3 and the Pacers take game 4. That's my final prediction. 2-2 heading into game 5.
Yeah, I tend to I think you're onto it there. I think the Thunder win tonight, and it becomes like an absolute must-win for the Pacers. My voice keeps cracking today.
It does,
really
bud.
I don't know why. I haven't been screaming. Maybe my I'm going through second puberty. Is that a thing?
Is that a thing? I don't know.
Am I getting Benjamin Buttoned?
Do I look like a doctor?
Well, I apologize to everybody listening or watching that my voice keeps cracking. Maybe I need some rest. But I slept late today. I don't know.
You just need to take a big hit from Sam Bennett, and then it'll shake out whatever's going on in you.
All right, I'll get right on that. Fly myself to Florida. Sunrise, Florida?
Sunrise, Florida. Fly into Miami. You can fly into Fort Lauderdale. 2 easy airports. Less than an hour up to the stadium.
Sneak my way onto the rink, get banned for life.
Yeah. Just go in the locker room, some John Henderson shit. Just look at Sam Bennett and be like, hit me.
All right, well, sounds like a plan. We'll see if I see you guys in the next show. But that's all I got. War Eagle Jackson, go shock the world.
Go make the cut.